Jacob Randall. Welcome to the NZ Drummers podcast, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Look, hey, just a little bit of a premise to outlay for the people watching and listening. You're in Wellington.
That's the one.
I'm in Auckland. So we're in different cities here in New Zealand. And up until this point, I feel like the podcast has been quite Auckland centric. We've actually had quite a few international guests, but I feel like the Kiwi guests have been mostly Auckland sort of based. I mean, it's easy for me. I can just sort of, hang out with someone at my studio or go see them or whatever. So I'm really happy to have someone from Wellington on here, man.
Sweet. I mean, you do have a good pool of people to choose from over there too.
Oh man, yep. Yeah, we've got some great players, but I really want to dig into the Wellington scene because I mean, all of us Auckland drummers, and especially thinking back to when I was teaching at Drum City, we're always like talking about the Wellington guys, and you guys seem to have such a vibrant scene and such a good live music thing going on down there. Can you tell us a little bit about going to music school in Wellington and sort of how it works down there and possibly some differences with Auckland?
Yeah, man. So if you're a kit player, there's two main places you'll go, which is the jazz school, which is now completely at Vic. Vic Uni. And there was another place called Whiti Raya, which was they were based in town as well. They used to be based in Porirua.
Right.
But so like Notman, old mate Sam Notman, he went through Whiti.
What a player, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, totally.
Unreal.
And, yeah.
Right. And who were the primary instructors for you? You studied jazz, is that right?
Yeah, that's the one. So we had Lance Phillip.
Yeah.
Who's a
legend.
Obviously a boss. Yeah. And did you ever come across Roger Sellers?
Roger Sellers is a name that used to get spoken of like in hushed tones around Drum City. He passed away. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute legend, right?
That's the one.
Right. So you sort of were instructed mostly by him?
It was you had lessons each week with Lance and Roger, which was awesome.
With the both of them?
You got yeah.
Wow.
So you got both sides of it. It was great. Yeah, I was there. My last year, I think, was Roger's last year there teaching. So I was very lucky to get him and Lance.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Now being not overly familiar, other than reputation with both those gentlemen, would it be fair to say Lance, his main area of interest or focus is sort of orchestral percussion and perhaps like classical in that kind of area, and Roger was more jazz, or is it not necessarily the case?
No, Roger was jazz, and he was able to guide you through like the Ted Reed book and the John Riley book and show you how to use it to your advantage, not just go through the exercises, which was awesome. Lance was showing us big band charts, how to set up the figures. He did showed everybody all the Afro-Cuban percussion, which was great.
Right.
That was a fun time. He also took you through like I think it's Adam Savage Rudimental Solos book to kind of almost like drumline vibes.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Lance was like all the other facets of kit playing and like percussion that you'd come across with jazz.
Okay, so I better cut what I said out because I probably completely sold Lance Phillip short. But just not having met him, I mean, only know him from reputation, and obviously he does a lot of show work and all that. So he's obviously a well-rounded, brilliant instructor and player, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
So I think it would probably be fair to say like from Auckland, looking at Wellington, it feels to me, or I don't want to say to us, I don't want to speak for everyone up here, but it kind of feels like there's a bit more of a live gigging scene. Do you feel that's the case?
In Auckland or here?
Sorry, in Wellington. Like it feels like there's more live music. It feels like there's more bars. It feels like it's a bit more set up still for live music.
There is live music happening, but I mean, few of the venues have been dropping, sadly.
Right.
So like one of my favorite spots to play, this is their last weekend open.
Mm.
And that was, it was a little place called Hishigo at the bottom of Taranaki Street. It was almost like you're in like someone's large lounge. It was like the room off to the side of the bar where the music happened. There was great vibe in there every time. Right. But it's sadly it's feeling the pinch.
Okay, so you've got all the same issues we've got.
Yeah, man, that's the one.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, just before we sort of dig into yourself and like some of obviously your achievements and playing, are there any other Wellington players you want to give a shout out? You mentioned Sam Notman. He's Wellington based?
I mean, he's moved over to London now.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, man. What I got? Good drummers. You heard of Sean Anderson at all?
Is he a heavier sort of player?
Yeah. I mean, he does jazz and everything, but
right.
He does heavy stuff as well.
I think when I did the metal round table, I think one of the boys might have mentioned him.
Yeah. So, that'll be it.
Again, unfamiliar with these Wellington players, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Who else we got? There's have you heard of the name Hikarangi?
Yes.
Yeah, he's from here. He does a load of stuff, man.
Okay.
And he's a great player.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got Darren.
Oh, of course, right. Yeah, Darren Mathiasen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, monster.
Yeah, he's a great player. Obviously Lance. Who else we got?
It's always a loaded question because clearly we're always going to forget someone or forget 10 people. Sure. But no, there's a couple of names there, which is great, and people can go search them up and they'll be absolutely heavy players, man.
That's the one.
So if we could sort of get into your playing, and man, I'm going to come clean here. I was a late comer to your Instagram, which I feel like that's where you're most active in terms of like the social media drum side of things. Instagram, kind of your platform. And of course, I'll link to that, Jacob Randall Drums on Instagram.
Thank you.
And man, I was a late comer because you know how the algorithm works. Once I found you, now Instagram just keeps throwing you at me. But before that, I hadn't seen a lot of you.
Gotcha.
And one of your videos did pop up. And I think from memory, I sent it to some of my friends up here, like Adam Tobeck and Chris Dawson, Dan Clayton. I was like sending one of your videos to them.
All right.
And I was like, what the hell? Like, this is it, man. Check out this dude. And they're like, they were kind of like, what do you mean? Like, you're not hip to Jacob? And then I freaked out. I didn't realize you were even a Kiwi.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I flipped out even more because I think, man, I'm rambling here, but I think what I had done was I'd conflated you with Jeff Randall, Nashville drummer.
Right.
Do you know Jeff Randall?
I know the name. Yeah.
Completely different style player, but Jay Randall, I think I had just like put two people into one.
Gotcha.
So man, now I'm flooded with all these incredible. I don't know how we'd describe them, man. It's almost like a lot of flow, a lot of it feels like we're capturing like possibly 50 seconds, a minute of practice session. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And
Totally.
if that part of your practice or that part of your recording is at least somewhat improvised, how much sort of how can we put it, regimented practice would you do compared to that more improvised approach?
Good question. So pretty much everything, unless it's a clip of me tracking some drums for someone, all of it is pretty much improvised from start to finish. Yeah.
So your daily practice or your daily time on the drums is almost wholly improvised.
All the stuff I put up is
Okay.
improvised. But I mean, I'm working on just like general technique kind of stuff.
Okay. On the pad?
Yeah. So like,
yep.
I've had a couple of lessons with, have you heard of Lenny Sikowski?
I have not, no.
Oh, he's the NZSO's principal percussionist.
Wow. Okay.
And he knows what he's doing technique wise. So
I bet.
Trying to work on the molar stuff and then try and get it onto the kit proper.
Right.
Just for longevity's sake. So like I'll do that, or if I'm on the kit, I'm either working on ideas that'll pop into my head or practicing for something in particular at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like a recording session, or there's something on a gig I need to figure out. Yeah.
Okay. I sort of hate to, compare drummers, but I guess like I'm just thinking back to, because when I was at Drum City, I was next door to Adam Tobeck.
Me.
And I'm a big Tobeck fan, like all of us. And how you play your sound, sort of what you're going for and stuff, it most closely reminds me of Tobeck. Obviously not saying you're copying Tobeck or Tobeck's copying you, but that sort of flow, I'd be in my room hacking away at something really basic. And every now and then if I stopped, Tobeck would just be like in the seemingly endless triplet maze of like coordination. And I sort of feel like that with you, like it's just so flowing. There's linear stuff in there. There's sort of more rudiment stuff. There's like vicious accents and dynamics, man. Like I'd love to dig into how this all came about and how it's evolved over the years.
Yeah, totally. So I got most of my facility on the kit between the ages of like 5 and I don't know, mid-teens, because I was homeschooled.
Right. Yeah.
Great for that.
Great for drums.
Yeah.
Just look at Dylan and Elisa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. So I'd smash all the schoolwork out in the morning and then just play drums all afternoon. So I was able to put some time in and like just build it all up as a little tacker, which is it was a good starting point,
So between say age 5 and 15, how many hours a day would you be on the kit?
Probably 3 or 4 plus.
7 days a week?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not like completely excessive, right? That's a lot.
And the neighbors, they were cool, which was great.
Oh yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, man. The big band, all the rudimental books, just building a whole different facet of the drumming language.
So if anyone's catching up with this here, we sort of lost contact a bit. I'd just love to sort of pick up on you were talking about how you developed your facility, which is this is incredible, between the ages of 5 and what, 15-ish?
Somewhere around there.
Around there. And then do you feel like you sort of fine-tuned things, I guess, dialed things in a little bit after that, or it was just a general thing the whole way through?
Pretty much a general thing the whole way through.
Yep.
Luckily I liked doing it when I was young and through the years. So I just kept cracking at it,
Were you getting lessons at that time?
I got lessons from the ages of roughly 5 till I was about 9 or 10.
Right, okay.
And then the guy said, there's not a lot more I can kind of show you. Just keep going at it and you'll just keep getting better. But watch a few DVDs, that sort of thing.
Yep.
But he taught me to read from the age of 5 and up, which was awesome.
Do you play other instruments or just drums?
All sorts, like guitar, bass, keys.
Okay, I had no idea. Right.
Yeah.
And was it the same on those instruments between those ages? You were learning and playing those instruments the whole way through?
Drums was the only one the whole way through. Then I actually started playing cornet in a brass band when I was about 9. Okay.
Yep.
And then they realised I was a drummer, and they're always short of drummers, so I got put on the kit.
Yeah.
The other stuff started about high school age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I mean, I would love to have been a fly on the wall and see sort of, the whole picture here, because it is, I mean, it's pretty amazing how you play and what you're doing on Instagram. I know it's only Instagram and it's just a short snippet, but I mean, such a highly regarded drummer, and people, I feel like, could look at someone like you and go, oh, he's just naturally good. So I don't know, how is there an element here of family life, or were your parents like extra supportive, or was there any other contributing factors to this, I guess, this level that you've reached?
Yeah, man. My parents were very supportive. Mm-hmm. Can you see the 70s Ludwig?
I sure can.
That was my first kit.
Wow.
With a 24-inch kick, so I couldn't reach the pedals on. It's great.
But it looked good.
2 14-inch rack toms, 16 and 18-inch floor toms.
Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious because I was a 4-year-old. I couldn't.
So your parents are musicians?
Nah.
Oh, they're not? Okay.
No, man. They're so the story of the kit is they went to the music shop because when I was 3, a family, the music team leader at the local little church we went to saw me tapping away on the back of chairs and said, we've got a kids kit out in our attic. You can have it for a while if you want. And I played that every day for about a year. And then my parents had the great idea of getting me a real drum kit. So they went to the shop and they were looking at an old beat up Fibes kit.
Right.
They went home to think about it, and they went back at lunchtime to buy it, and it was sold. And then my dad kind of half jokingly said, offered them a price for the Ludwig, and they went to the back room, talked about it, and said, "Yeah, you can have it. Give us your money." And then that's how I got that.
Oh man, never going to sell that one.
No, man.
Oh, that's awesome. You're a bit of a gear collector as well. How many kits do you think you've got?
I think it's about 17, give or take.
Jeez, that's insane, man. You got issues, bro.
I do.
And on your Instagram, we get to see a lot of them too. You seem to switch them out, and yeah,
man.
I mean, mate, there's so many, like, I feel like we could go for 3 hours because there's so many questions. Like, I'm probably jumping all over the place, but like your sound on the, like your sound is that's the sound we want. It's so organic, but obviously so much of it is yourself, and the way you've tuned the kit and the way you're hitting the drums. Is there anything you can tell us about your recording process and how that's obviously improved over time as well?
Yeah. I started on all that kind of stuff back in high school, kind of dabbling, and then slowly built up the mic collection and the gear side of it. One of the big things about the sound I get at the moment is the room I'm in.
High ceilings?
So, yeah, the peak is 5.5 meters up.
Wow.
So it gives the snare a good amount of space to breathe.
Is it typically you're close micing the toms and everything?
Yeah, so everything's close mic'd.
Yeah.
I usually just use the close mics on the toms to give it some oomph.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it's really overheads and rooms for, the rooms are a big part of making it kind of sound more organic, like you're in there,
Yeah. That I think it's that sort of natural reverb, and that there's just such a thwack to your sound, man. It's just glorious, eh?
Thanks, man.
If you don't mind, I'll drop in some audio and video from the channel into this.
Yeah, totally.
Chat if you're okay with that, because it is like my favorite. I don't use Instagram much, which people are going to laugh at me for saying that because I'm constantly posting, but I'm actually, if I post something to my Andrew Rooney Drums Facebook page, it automatically posts to Instagram.
Oh, nice.
So I actually don't look at Instagram much at all. But when I do, it's to check out Jacob Randall Drums, man.
Thanks, man.
So your I guess life as a musician, you're a full-time musician?
Yeah, musician and dog breeder.
Dog breeder?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So how would your sort of typical week for you look in terms of music and dog breeding?
Yeah. The dog breeding it doesn't take a lot of time. Like they're they have they kind of have a litter once a year. So they can have them more, but once a year is kind of healthy for the dog. Yeah. So it's quite a small amount of time that it actually takes up.
Okay.
But
and then drums.
Drums. The main one. Yeah. Well, being self-employed, freelance, all that sort of thing, it does always vary. I've been doing a lot more remote recording for people, which is it's good.
For overseas clients?
Yeah. Like I did an album for a dude in London pretty recently, which was great. Just set the drums up, get comfy,
And they found you through Instagram?
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And local people have found me through Instagram as well. It's a dude in Russia who wants me to do a couple tracks for him. That'll be fun.
So are you teaching as well?
Not at the moment, but I mean, like occasionally someone will like message me saying, "Gotta get a lesson. I want to work on da-da-da," and that's totally happy to do that sort of stuff.
Okay. So would it be fair to say your most of your, I guess, income music-wise is either from sessions or live performance?
That's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
How many live gigs, just on average, do you think you'd do in, say, a week or a month?
Average, it's probably been about 3, maybe 4 a week.
3 to 4 gigs a week?
Like, depending on what it is. And, like, some weeks are less, Some weeks are like,
well, that's pretty good. That's a good average, man.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah. And what about sessions? How regular is that?
It all depends on who's wanting stuff done. Like, last week I was in the studio in town. This week coming, I've got a few days in there, and then after that, I've got some remote stuff I need to do for some people. Yeah. Like, it ticks up.
I mean, just sorry to like nail down on this. It's just that I feel like session drumming is something that people are obviously interested in, and I feel like there's not as much of that around, as there once was. But it's great to see that there are people, still doing it, still getting the work, and now we can remote record.
Man.
So would you say half of your sessions would be hired to go to an external studio, possibly half at home, something like that?
So roughly, give or take, yeah. I'd say about that.
Yeah, and days in studio, would you say on average again, like possibly like 10 a month, 20 a month? So, is it that much?
Oh, you mean like kind of both sides of it?
Yeah, like in total, would you sort of be, working as a recording drummer 10 days a month or more, or?
Probably. Like, again, it depends on like the sessions, what's coming through. But yeah, I've definitely done some months where it was like over 10. Yeah.
Well, that's a good amount, right? So you're in there every week. You're recording every week for something.
Yeah, for something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really impressive, man, that you're that busy, but obviously it's a testament to your ability, right?
It does help being able to play the drums and record them, It's good.
Yeah. Like, again, I've always got to be careful how I sort of do these questions, but I feel like you've got a certain style that you play with on Instagram.
Yeah, true.
I feel like Jacob Randall video pops up. I know sort of, again, that sounds horrible. I almost know, I do know the vibe, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
I know roughly normally what you're going to deliver, and I absolutely love it. Do you find clients are looking for that, or do you find that you have to be very versatile with these sessions?
You got to be versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like your natural inclination is like hard hitting, like a little bounce in there, hard hitting, like monster chops. Sort of like just these thunderous fills and stuff, and like sometimes you'll be asked to just completely dial it back or go nuts or just everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. Like,
okay.
Sometimes it's hardly touch a tom, maybe a crash once. You know how it is. Yeah. Or other times it's like, oh, this part of the song, we want you to just go nuts, play as many notes as you can. Yeah, Yeah.
I feel like that is an absolute myth in the industry. I've done a whole series on my podcast about myths. And I feel like it's a complete myth. Everybody talks about recording like, oh, you can't play too much. Oh, you don't do any fills. Don't do this, don't do that. I don't know if that's actually true, right?
Nah, man.
I haven't found that either. I've found people asking me to play more a lot.
Yeah. Like, obviously, sometimes that is what they want. But yeah, quite often, if you're doing that, they'll say, oh, could you give it a bit more? Needs a bit more energy or whatever. Like,
yeah. Would you agree that that's a bit of a myth, a commonly said myth?
Yeah, I reckon.
It's like studio drummer equals you only play pocket and you have to tone everything down and play completely polite and just play nothing, and that's a studio drummer.
Yeah, people don't want polite.
No.
Only some.
No, I've had multiple situations where people have said, "Okay, now give us a crazy take, not crazy, but
Yeah, that's
give us like your a more drummy type version of that." And I
yeah,
think
man.
if you can't go up that level, if you can't just change gear, yeah, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Speaking of myths, is there anything that you see around? I'm obsessed with myth busting. Is there anything that like I don't know, a pet peeve, a myth? Is there something you see commonly around that you think, yeah, that's not right?
I don't know if it's a myth or anything, but like, so like, if people think you need like top shelf gear to sound really good, right? Like, I've got a while back, I like did some recording, and I got like the things that pretty much cost me the least out to see how it goes, and it sounded amazing. It was a
Yeah.
$13 ride cymbal, $60 bass drum, like a $50 snare,
Yeah.
just picked up over the years, and they sounded amazing together. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is definitely the player, isn't it?
Yeah, that helps too. But I mean,
Yeah.
together they just kind of fitted as well.
Right.
It was the vibe. Yeah.
Okay. That I love that. And that was one of the myth busting sessions that we did.
Hey,
Was on gear. And
nice. I think I remember that actually.
yeah, and I think it feels like gear is just such an easy it's just such a easy win for people, right? I go out and
Yeah,
purchase something and therefore I'm better.
yeah.
Whereas I was always a big fan of like play something until it dies, like tape it up and try everything on that
Yeah.
horrible drum kit and just try and make it work.
That's the one.
I feel like you got to earn the gear, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great one, man. Anything else sort of in that area of I know you're a humble guy and you probably don't want to be calling anyone out or anything, but is there anything else in that sort of world that you're noticing or that you've found to be like just a truth for you?
That's a good question. Also, by the way, I'm not saying don't go and buy the nice new shiny drum kit.
Oh
That's
no, of
always
course. They sound great.
You got to do that too. It's no make or break or anything, but I think if you can or whatever, people should try and read if they're serious about
Okay.
doing the drum. Obviously, you can be a great drummer and not read. That's fine. Like, there's awesome drummers that don't read, but if you're a working drummer, it's going to help you.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm a reader, and I don't. Just me personally, I don't really understand how people would do like a session, for example, without a chart. If only for the fact that I know things can change.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've been on a session where we were playing some really loopy stuff, and halfway through, like the main guy, the guitarist and songwriter, he whoa, this is not working, and he like just deleted like 5 bars out of a bridge.
Oh, 5.
And so, I mean, not trying to big up myself, and I haven't done it anywhere near the amount of sessions you have, but I could just go to my chart and remove 5 bars.
Yeah, man, that's the one.
So if you're not on a chart, I just don't personally understand how you can make those changes.
Yeah. Or even if like I don't necessarily do a full-on chart when I do like roadmaps or whatnot. I just kind of do like a freehand thing that I can understand. Like even if you're doing sessions, you just do that. Just something
like 8 bars, 4 bars,
yeah,
sections.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that would be a lifesaver in that moment too. Yeah.
So obviously, as soon as you say, people will get their back up at that and say, well, Buddy Rich didn't read, Dennis Chambers didn't read. Are you saying you're better than Buddy Rich and Dennis Chambers? Like, what would you say to that? if someone said, well, come on, I don't want to read. These guys don't read.
Well, the person saying that also isn't Dennis Chambers or Buddy Rich, and they probably need all the help they can get.
I think the huge misconception there is when you've put in the amount of time on the drum kit that Dennis Chambers has or Buddy Rich, it really does not matter at that point.
No, man.
Like, they're making their own calls. They're the boss. Yeah. So they have completely steamrolled that whole facet of drumming. They've steamrolled it with hours and quality. So it becomes completely irrelevant. Whereas, like, thinking from like a teacher's perspective, if I give a relatively new student a bunch of drum beats that I want them to work on, again, how can they go away and work on that if they can't read the sheet?
Exactly, it gives you means you can actually look back at what you've been given. You can take your time on it, not wonder, oh, am I remembering that right? You can, it helps you retain information better. Totally.
Yeah.
You can go and make sure it's right.
I guess the other misconception around reading is that people, I think that you need to rely on it, and you're permanently going to be reading that piece of music, whereas that's not the idea at all, right?
No, man.
You want to get off the page, right?
That's the one.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, man. Anything else in this sort of, because I think I got you on a roll here, man.
Yeah, true that.
You know what? Just on reading.
Yeah.
I also personally, I don't personally understand if someone's really into drumming or really into guitar or bass. I don't know why you wouldn't want to understand that instrument.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, man.
Like, it's not like learning more about the drums is going to make you not like the drums.
No, it should theoretically help you like it more. The more you'll be able to do, the more you want to do it.
Yeah. But it's much more difficult to learn to read than it is to buy a drum kit. So, reading.
Yeah, man. That's the one. Do vary it. Play along with music and read. You sorted.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, man. Have anything else in that sort of pet peeve myth? Or, something that you'd really try and encourage like a student or mentor a student with or something?
Well, it depends what they want to do with it. But I'd say try and listen to heaps of different stuff, different styles of music. If you want to play and get work, you should try and be as adaptable as you can. And like, oh, you want this Latin gig, and then if you're listening to it, you've played it a bit, you'll be able to go and do a satisfactory job.
Yeah.
Even if it's a last minute kind of thing, you know a bit of the language, so it's not like you're just a rock drummer at a Latin gig,
Yeah.
But try and diversify.
Okay.
Once you've gotten to a certain level,
Yeah. And if we could just sort of dig down on that a little bit further, like, obviously all great musicians and great educators, preach about, listen to music. So when you say, listen to a wide range of music or make sure you're listening to music, critically, what is that for you? Are you talking about sitting down, no distractions, and you're just listening to John Coltrane, or are you talking about transcribing? What do you mean when you say listen to music?
I would say if you're deep in your like studying phase of the instrument, I'd say go for it. Analyze away, like try and pick up on the subtleties and the language or the things that make that style on the kit. Even in just everyday life, put some music on, some different music on as well, because if it's in the background for long enough, you'll start to kind of feel it.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, I guess. But like, because that's a very good thing to be able to do, is if you can feel where the music's going, because you've listened to enough of it, you can you get good at guessing if you're on a gig. Like, because I've had people say, like, "Oh, did you know these songs before the gig or whatever?" Like, sounds like you played all this stuff before, but I haven't. It's just I'm really good at guessing what's happening next, or that kind of thing.
You've got the advantage as well of playing other instruments, right? So you can hear chord resolutions, you can hear where chords are naturally going to resolve.
Yeah, that helps too.
Should resolve, and like, so you got a good ear, right? You can sort of follow along, and like you said, take a pretty educated guess.
That's the one.
Yeah. Would you say that would be another possible tip? Is to pick up another instrument?
Yeah, totally. I mean, bass is always a good one, because theoretically you're supposed to be locked in with the bass player.
Yeah.
But then if you do a chorded instrument, you'll get the feel of like chord progressions, where songs might be going. You'll be able to look out for that side of things better then too.
Yeah, piano probably being the ultimate, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Amount of space that it covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's awesome. So what have you got coming up, man? Have you got a lot of work sort of lined up?
Yeah. Going to got a session this week for a few days at a great place in town called the Armory. You heard of that studio?
I have not.
The drum collection is quite good nowadays. Yeah, man.
You look, there's a little glint in your eye there.
Yeah, man. That's great. Vintage.
And you're happy to just rock up and play a house kit?
Yeah. Because whenever he needs it, I'm like the drum tech there too. So it's all good.
Wow. Okay. So you're somewhat like the house drummer of the studio, or not necessarily?
Yeah, if he gets a session and they don't have a drummer, he'll call me up. So it's great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother, I guess, tip or recommendation, right? Get friendly with those producers and engineers if you want to do
that's
session
the
work.
one, man. Like, how did it start? Yeah, I ended up going in there recording for someone who booked the studio, and then at that same time he was wanting to do like he was thinking about putting together like a little video to showcase the drum sounds he could get in the room, and I guess he liked my kit and the drumming, so he was like, "Hey, you wanna help me do this video thing?" And it all started there, just completely basically by chance, because I got that session. Yeah,
I get, but that is opportunity meeting experience, right? You were ready for that, I guess, connection, right? If your drum skills weren't up to scratch, you could have been the best guy in the world, but drumming's not quite.
Yeah, man, you got to have you got to be able to do the thing, do the job.
Yeah. Hey, man, with your Instagram, which honestly, again, I'm going to be dropping video in because it's incredible, man. Like,
Thanks, man.
I'm obsessed. do you get a lot of do you get a lot of messages? Are people asking you for lessons? Is it are you getting a lot of feedback on there?
Yeah, I get messages. Yeah, some people ask for lessons, or even just like, oh, could you tell me how you did whatnot in whichever video, which I'm happy to share because, drummers are friendly. They like helping other drummers out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that you can show them exactly how to do it. Still doesn't mean they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Or like, what's that mic? What's your processing on it? All sorts of questions come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to reply to everyone because, nice guy. Try to be a nice guy.
Gotta do it, man. Like I feel like you're such a relaxed cat and like classic, Kiwi, just laid back guy. Have you got and again, I'm not trying to say that what you're doing right now is not a fantastic career, but have you got, in the future, are there any sort of master plan in terms of goals or things that you want to be doing, or?
Oh, I'd like to push the remote recording thing and just like keep that progressing more and more, because I've got my studio space that I built, and I'm just about to start on like a like a control room.
Right. Okay.
Making it out of a shipping container.
Nice.
That'll be a fun project, but it'll mean like I can do like that fat 70s dead sound in there, do the big open rock vibes in the big room.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And have you got any sort of, I guess, mentors that you're looking at for that? Like, I don't know if you follow like Aaron Sterling or
man.
Ash Sohn, these guys. Are there any of those that sort of stand out as motivation sort of influences for you?
Definitely those two. Have you checked out is it Dan Bailey?
I don't think so.
Richard Bailey? I'll try and link him to you.
Okay.
On Instagram. He's great.
Yeah.
He's a great remote recording dude. Yeah.
In the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got some real stuff.
So you feel like you're, in terms of your career and where things are headed, feels like you're gonna double down and really set up sort of the mothership at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And obviously live playing still, because it's nice to play with people. That's the best. That's the best one.
But I feel like, so you must be able to record like whole bands though, rhythm section and stuff at home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got enough inputs now, which is nice.
Yeah.
And the space, so it's great.
Yeah. Awesome. And have you got like a rhythm section that you tend to sort of work with a lot?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, amazing bassist named Blaine in town.
Okay.
Yeah, he's great, man. Like, he's tight. He's got the chops too. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few good keyboard players in town. Actually, it's somewhat drum related. One of my favorite keyboardists in town, his name's Leo, and he is also in the Air Force drum line.
Okay.
He's got some stick chops in there too. It's great.
Damn. Better watch your back.
Yeah, that's right.
And are these guys sort of the people that you tend to play with a lot, record with, perform with? Yeah. Do you find that they tend to be a lot of the jazz school alumni types, or not necessarily?
Yeah. Usually they've been through there in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
It's a great sort of rounded schooling, I guess. Like you've got the reading, you've got a lot of playing experience, because obviously at jazz school you are playing constantly, and networking, I suppose. And
that's the one.
Yeah.
Because every it must be pretty much every gig in town is like I've gotten through someone from there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I started noticing like when I was at uni myself that I was like, hey, even the guys that are playing on all these pop gigs, they're all the jazz guys.
Yeah, that's the one, man.
Yeah. And I guess like it sort of ties back into what you're saying about reading and like being able to learn things quickly, change things quickly, versatility.
Yeah, man. That's the one.
Yeah, great, man.
Especially in New Zealand, because I think it's not America, so it's like it would be harder to go down one
country, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you want to work a lot here, you gotta be able to do all sorts just because of the size of the place.
Yeah, no, that's another top tip, man. I love that. I'm aware of your time, and we can start wrapping it up. Was there anything else you sort of any shout outs or anything else you sort of wanted to mention?
Good idea. I mean, my band King Oyster recently put out a single.
Okay.
And there'll be an album coming soonish.
Yep.
It'll be a fun time.
Recorded at home?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
The whole band?
I did the drums at home this time, and then everybody kind of did their own bits in their own space. And then,
wow. Everybody's got their own home recording setup.
Yeah, man.
It's incredible, eh? Like, if you went back 20 years and you told musicians that everybody will be recording at home like this, it'd be total science fiction, eh?
Yeah, man, totally.
Just incredible. And what about a quick rundown of your setup, like your DAW, interface, all that kind of stuff?
Using Logic, and just because that's what I started on. And, as you keep using stuff, you get to know it pretty well. So it's just, that's what I'm fastest on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 3 Motu 896 HD interfaces, which gives me 24 channels, which is...
Well, that's enough for the snare drum.
Exactly. Just. Yeah. Bunch of mics, like... Got the new AKG D12 VR kick mic, which is that's cool. I'm liking it at the moment. It's like a D12, but they've got a few switches. You can change the contour and whatnot. Classic Sennheiser 421s on the tom, 57s, snare.
Can't go wrong.
No, exactly. So they're on everything for a reason, right?
Yeah. You can run them over with your Cybertruck and they'll be totally fine.
That's the one. Yeah.
So, mate, if we sort of wrap it up there, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, but we do have to at some stage wrap it up. But maybe we could finish off with, you mentioned Hikurangi and Sam.
Yeah.
As 2 local monster players. I don't know if you've thought of any others, but who else are your sort of drummers that you love checking out locally, like around the country?
Around the country, we got another local, Rick Cranston. Have you heard that name?
No, I have not.
Yeah. He's a fun time. Another local. Oh, see, it's all coming to me now.
There you go. Yeah.
John Ray.
He's, Ray. Okay.
Beautiful jazz drummer. Yeah, man. He's great.
Yep.
Who else is there? But now I'm blanking on all the other parts of the country, see?
Here I was worried about being Auckland centric. But you know what? Even then, like even sort of being paranoid that I'm only focusing on Auckland drummers, within that, there's a subgenre of I'm obsessed with the guys that I can't help but have something in relation with, like having been to jazz school or playing similar type of gigs, or so I'm also aware of that, and it's been really fun to do like a metal roundtable, for example.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Or
man.
speak to like guys like Jamie St. Marat from Ulcerate. Do you know? Are you aware of Jamie?
Nah.
He is just the most insane metal, like heavy, like black metal, I guess.
Awesome.
And crazy, like world renowned drummer, like right in our backyard.
That's cool, man.
So
Check it out.
yeah, do it. It's mind blowing, but I really love it. You know, sort of getting out of that comfort zone and talking to someone like you. Well, I guess we're not a million miles apart in terms of like a jazz school sort of background.
Yeah, true.
But being in a different city, and you know different guys, and you've got different rhythm section players, and it's
exactly.
awesome, man. And definitely check out those people that you mentioned. Be great to have Sam on the show. Actually, you'll have to put in the good word for me.
Yeah, he'd be keen, surely. Yeah, man. Totally. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Well, hey, I better let you get back to your mad drumming laboratory. And yeah, man, thanks so much for your time. And next time you're up here, hit me up and we'll go and grab a coffee, or come and hang out at Scotty's, and we can drool over all the gear.
Yeah, man, that's the one.
Awesome, mate.
Thanks for having me, man.
No worries, man. Take it easy, bro.
You too.